What happens when we die? Is there an afterlife? Do we go to heaven? Or even worse, hell? Can we communicate with the dead? And if we can, should we? Let's find out.
All right, guys. Welcome to episode 10 of Pedro Paranormal. I'm your host Tony, and as you can see, I have my co-host with me today. Finally, after like two episodes of suffering with no intro music and really crappy editing.
Yeah, but, I'm glad to be here for episode number 10.
Yeah,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know what? We couldn't do episode 10. You know, I couldn't do episode 10 on my own. I had to have, Carlos. We started the first episode together, so I think it was for the best for us to do episode 10 together. At least, at least for now. But before we get started, how's everything been with you, Carlos? I mean, I know with the whole lockdown stuff and not being able.
I haven't gotten cabin fever yet. But
because I know you're used to going out and all that stuff. I mean, like me, I'm used to being at home. So to me, it hasn't been that rough for me.
Right, I'm kind of missing going out with my friends, seeing relatives, going out and doing things, especially on Fridays and Saturday nights. Usually Sundays I'm a homebody, so today's or every day lately has been like a Sunday to me, just like chill, relax. But sometimes you get that itch and just want to go out and do something. But I think we still can. We go for a walk, we can go bike riding, but just gotta be safe for the better of things. I try to stay home more than anything.
Well, you know what's
as long as I have.
You know what's funny, that now that we're on lockdown, I actually started going for walks. Something that I never did before. But I think just being stuck at home with the kids and the wife. I mean, it's kind of mean to say, but I just need to get those breathers and just go for get out for a little while.
But it also makes you think of all the stuff that you were kind of missing out on, where, oh my God, I should have done this, I should have done that. When I had the freedom. Now when you're locked down, you're kind of like making a list. Okay, this is what I'm actually going to do now. Once this is over, I'm going to go to the beach more often. I'm going to go see some museums, go travel.
I know.
But first we got to get over this little bump.
Yeah, it seems like when we had all the freedom, we didn't want to do anything. And now that the freedom was taken, now we want to go out.
Right. Just the way human nature is.
Yeah. So today's episode is going to be on the entity case. It wasn't started in Culver City, right? I think that's where it started.
Yes, it started in Culver City.
Yeah. So this was a haunting that actually, it's based on a true story. Well, the book's based on a true story, and then they made a film about the book. I think first came the book, right, and then the film.
The book, yes, and then the film afterwards.
Yeah. So this was the. Actually, you know what? I'm not well informed on the case because I didn't do almost any research at all. So Carlos is the one that actually read some of the book, and
I did my first share, a little bit of research, but mostly just on the movie and a little bit of the backstory. I'm not too well informed, but I did find some nice little tidbits about the entity.
Yeah.
And, I have the movie right here, The Entity.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I guess this movie was supposed to be released in 1981, but because something happened, I don't know if it was some sort of production or something happened with the studio, they kind of shelved it for a little bit. But then Poltergeist came out, and the producers were like, "Oh, this is great." I guess it's Fox was like, "Oh, I want to see that movie come out now, The Entity, because we were going to ride on this popularity." And it was until 1982 that it was released.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually enjoyed the Entity better than Poltergeist. I mean, I know Poltergeist was more fun, but just knowing that the entity, it really happened. I think that's what gives it that specialty to it.
Right, something about the Entity versus Poltergeist, and I kind of agree with some of these reviewers out there for the Entity on YouTube, that it keeps you on your heels because you are actually in Carla Moran's shoes, and you're kind of suffering as she's going through these problems with this apparition, or not apparition, but a poltergeist. Mm-hmm. And you kind of feel for her. You kind of feel bad.
Yeah.
And, and that included with the special effects and the soundtrack, which is that one song is just amazing. I think it's just kind of one of probably the second scary movie of all time, I think, right? Or maybe not.
Yeah.
But people still put what's the Exorcist above this one.
Oh yeah.
But the Entity is quite up there.
Well, and you know what? Barbara Hershey did an excellent job, playing the character.
Yes.
She did a really good job. But yeah, you know what?
Yes, sir.
This case, you know what? It's very, and that's the thing I noticed. A lot of people online, when we did our first episode, the San Pedro haunting, a lot of people confuse that haunting with this film. They think that this film was based on the San Pedro haunting, which it wasn't. I think the San Pedro haunting came after, happened way after the Entity, because the Entity was the 70s, right?
The Entity was October 1976, and the San Pedro haunting was I forget the years. It was in the
80s somewhere in the 80s.
Oh, 88 or so. It was like August 88, I remember.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of similarities between the two. Both of them involve a single parent, female in this case, or both cases, with kids.
Yeah.
And,
I think the San Pedro haunting was 2 kids, right? There was 2 kids, and in the Entity there was I think she had 3 kids, right?
In the movie Entity, she had 3 kids.
Also, in real life, it wasn't 3 kids.
No, it was actually actually, it was 3 kids. But
it was 3 kids, right? I think
it was 4. It
was 4.
It was 3 boys and 1 girl.
Oh, and, okay.
Yeah, and the difference is that the middle one is the one that was having some sort of problems with his mom, I guess, like some sort of like teenage angst or animosity, because
what wasn't one of the were the children all from different parents or
Yes, every single one was from a different dad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was the larger boy, then the eldest teenager, then there was a middle, and then a younger one, then the baby girl.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I do want to mention one thing. I think one of the investigators in that case was also the investigator that did the San Pedro haunting, right?
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, I think so, but
But you know what? I do want to. Sorry, Carlos. I do want to mention that we're not professional experts in ghost hunts or anything. This is just our opinion on the case.
Yeah, these are our opinions, our thoughts. This is just us having a good time and trying to have fun with these little tidbits that we find.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they're related. One of the investigators was also from the San Pedro case also, but I'm not sure. I think they changed his name or whatever it was for the book and the movie, or because I tried looking that up but I couldn't find it.
You know what? I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. I just know that I like the movie a lot.
Yes. Yeah, I remember. I think this is one of the movies that I watched when I was a kid, but I kind of forgotten about it because I wasn't really into horror movies in my teenagers and later on in life. Only when I was small, and watching this back, I kind of got a little bit of not flashbacks, but I was just, I remember this, I remember that. And once that bathroom scene, the first not bathroom scene, but the first slap of Carla Moran happened in the first scene where the same scene where she gets violated. Mm-hmm. I was like, I do remember this. Yeah. I do remember this movie, and I remember scaring the pants out of me.
Yeah, and you know what? For anybody out there, you could actually the movie is really hard to find. I think it's only on Stars right now. You have to get the Stars app or the channel, but they do have a lot of videos on YouTube where it's like almost like little documentaries, right, about the film, like about the true story.
Yes. Yeah, the true story, and if you have this DVD, which thank you for letting me borrow this, it actually has a little documentary at the end. And it talks about the actual case, which is kind of neat. I like that. Mm-hmm. That's one very good special feature.
So, what do you think about this case, Carlos? I mean, do you think it has more? Because I know in this one, like the kids got to see some of the stuff, right? It wasn't just like the San Pedro haunting. It was mostly Jackie Hernandez, but this one actually had like the children were involved, so it gives it a little more of. What's the word?
Yeah, they were about probably 30 people at one time in that small house in Culver City. And the kids were I mean, that's a lot of witnesses, but the kids were also fed up too of all the people coming in.
Yeah.
And most of the time they were fed up because as soon as they would leave, the poltergeist would come back even angrier than before. But yes, one of the kids that actually did come out, I believe his name is Brian Harris. In 2009 of May, he actually went on and did an interview on a ghost theory. You can check it out on the Ghost Theory website. Mm-hmm. And they ask him a few questions, and he answers quite a bit and gives us more information on what happened in that house.
Yeah.
And it's pretty awesome stuff on there.
Yeah, and I mean the thing was that they have a lot of also they captured a lot of pictures, right?
Yeah.
There was a lot of pictures. Mm-hmm. But again, right. You know what? Just like the San Pedro haunting, the whole thing with the not really any video footage. That's what always. And the thing is, you know what? Mm-hmm. Someone did mention on our San Pedro haunting video that I guess they did try to use. Is that your phone or my phone? No.
Those probably come from your end.
Yeah, they did try to use video cameras, I guess, in the San Pedro haunting, mm-hmm. and that they would I guess after they would record, there would be nothing there. So I guess that's a possibility.
The same thing happened with this case too.
Yeah, and I guess with this case the same thing. But you know what? That actually happened to me when I tried to do a recording at Fort MacArthur, mm-hmm. and I actually went to. There's a section at Fort MacArthur where they have this big circle. I don't know if you remember it, Carlos. There's like a big circle with like almost like seating around it, like made out of cement, and they actually filmed the Blues Brothers scene right there where the Nazis are all like congregated. Yeah, but anyways, I tried to do an EVP there. This was before we started the YouTube channel, and I actually took a just a small camcorder and the digital recorder, and I tried I try to do I turn on the recorder. I could see when it shows how it's recording, and I turn on my digital recorder and I did some questions, and when I got home, my digital recorder didn't have the recordings and the video wasn't on my camera. So that was kind of, so I know it's possible. I know it's possible.
Yeah, it's messing around with the secrets, and then maybe electromagnetism.
Yeah,
is probably corrupting the files and the tape.
Yeah,
because tapes work off of.
You kind of froze a little there. Are you still there? You sound like a transformer. I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But yeah, guys, so I do know that that these things do happen, where because I actually got to go through it where my recording was gone, although it only happened one time. But let's see if we can get Carlos. I'm probably gonna have to call him back right now, or he's still there.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, you're back. Yeah,
I can hear you, but there you go. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, just having issues. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, I was just telling the viewers that so I know that it is possible to actually record stuff and for it not to come, not to be there after. But yeah, but I mean, you know what? I've been after I watched some of these videos on YouTube for the entity case. I actually there's a lot of new videos on YouTube right now of poltergeists videos that they've been capturing a lot of stuff going on. And a lot of them look, they look legit. It's not like they're high tech, like people. It's some there's one where it's a kid and her dad, and it's in Mexico, and like the lights are going off, the doors are opening and slamming, and you could tell there's nobody there. It's legit. But
oh wow,
yeah. Hopefully hopefully one day we capture something like that.
Yeah, or if not, we can start by watching these videos and then maybe go out and see something like that in the future, like you said. But it'd be nice to sit down and review these videos from Mexico or anywhere that there's poltergeist activity, and try to go out and get it. But that's going to be tough for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if Carlos, if you saw the end of the last video. There's a person here in San Pedro that actually gave me the address of her house where she lived, over there by the Korean Bell, and she said that they had all kinds of crazy stuff happen. So she actually she gave me the address so we could go and ask the new tenants to see if there's anything going on still. Okay. But she's one of the viewers. I think her name's Margie. But
Okay. Yeah. If you're
yeah, but
candidates.
I mean, getting back to the entity case.
Yes.
You know what you said that I told you, right, that the last, I think, third part, and I think in the book too, the last third part of the book is like it was all fictionalized, like by the writer, you know, because they actually in the film, and I mean I don't think there's any spoilers. I think pretty much everybody that that's gonna watch this film has seen it.
Yeah.
But
Spoilers ahead.
yeah, at the end of the movie they do a thing where I guess they try to trap the ghost or the spirit with what is it, with like that ice, that frozen air or something.
It's a large gun with liquid helium tanks, and it's on a track, and what it is, it's like a.
Was it helium or nitrogen?
This one's helium.
Oh, helium.
Yeah. So this helium will pretty much, it's on a track, and it goes around the gymnasium into this little mock-up area that looks like an open ceiling building where it's staged to look like a bedroom, a kitchen, and so forth. So what this thing's supposed to do is supposed to roll and I guess find the ghost and then shoot it and freeze it, while Carlo Moran is in a safe area behind some sort of safety glass.
I mean, if you watch that now, it seems kind of cheesy, but when I remember watching this when I was young, and I thought it was actually pretty cool. Because back then the technology was different and everything. So you would think if you try to capture something, that's probably the way you would have done it back then.
Yeah, I think the difference is too, when you're younger, you kind of think the first half or the first 2/3 of the movie are kind of boring because it's some talk and you kind of like whatever, things that happen to this girl, and it's kind of scary. But towards the end, that's when there's a lot of action, and you're like, oh, this is great. But now as an adult watching it,
you appreciate the beginning more.
Yeah, I appreciate the acting, the beginning. Ron Silver's performance as a psychologist, and Barbara Hershey's performance in the movie is pretty good. And like I said earlier, you're putting yourself in her shoes, and you're it's a traumatizing moment. But then when you get to the end, now as an adult, I'm looking at it as like, oh, this is like it's. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of money. It's beautiful. It was a lot of special effects were put into that last part, but I felt like it was a totally different movie for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It seems like a different. You're going from like a ghost haunting movie to like a sci-fi thriller kind of thing.
Exactly.
But you know what? In the movie, I was gonna ask you this. In the film, there's a scene where she gets in the car, and like she gets also like the poltergeist is in the like controlling the car too, right?
Right.
Is that in the book? Is that in the book too, or is it just in the film?
I was looking that part up, and I didn't get that far because I was distracted with something else. But I know it was an old Chevrolet, and she was having problems with the brakes, and she had to pump it twice, whatever. And she used both her feet, and it wouldn't stop whatsoever. The poltergeist just had control of it, and it was just driving down the street like a maniac, almost getting hit by other cars. And she was almost at it looked like some sort of pier that she almost went into, and then she turned around. Well, not almost into it, but she was very close to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's in the book or not. I have no clue.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if I mean, that could have been like, I guess, debunked. Maybe she never gave maintenance to her car or something. But
bad drum brakes.
Yeah.
4 drum brakes.
And you know what I saw online too. I think one of the documentaries I watched, they talked about how some people thought she was doing that she wasn't really being haunted. The thing is that they said, I guess she had like a drinking problem. I don't know if that was in the book.
Well, I read the interview again with when they interviewed Brian Harris, the second son, and he said that was a total lie, that she developed a drinking problem because of what was happening to her. She would probably occasionally drink a beer or so, but once this started happening, then she started drinking to remove this, I guess, to ease the pain in some ways.
Because you know what, on one of the documentaries, they're talking with one of the investigators. And he said that, I mean, I might be wrong, but he said that I guess when she would drink, the activity would get stronger. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows if that's true? I
also read that she has some sort of telekinesis that are Yeah, and the telekinesis and supposedly that she had these problems when she was drank, if they'd be greater or so. But
anything's
who knows what's went on with that little case there?
Yeah,
that piece, I should say.
I mean, anything's possible, I guess. I mean, it could be that, because we've talked about this before, where it could be maybe our own minds that are causing these things to happen. Moving stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is possible. I mean, but
yeah. So, someone mentioned in another YouTube video during a video review of this movie that, sometimes your mind plays tricks on you. Sometimes you think you're having like a little mini heart attack or a heart attack, but it's just your mind playing with your senses.
Or it's almost, it's almost too. I don't know if this ever happened to you, because I remember it happened to me as a child, where excuse me. Let's say I didn't want to go to school a certain day, and I would pretend like I was sick, and then eventually you would just get sick, like you would get sick. So the power of the mind.
Yeah, maybe you're lowering your autoimmune system in some ways. Kind of like what's happening now with this whole quarantine thing. A lot of people are worried that they're actually making themselves sicker because they're not putting their mind in a positive way.
Yeah, maybe making themselves more vulnerable too.
More susceptible to the virus.
Yeah, and then the thing is, what? Speaking about that too, like people are like not getting any kind of exercise. Like people are used to like walking around their jobs, staying home, sitting around, just eating fast foods or chips or so I don't think that's helping. But
no.
Yeah, but
so, getting back to the case though, the slight differences between the book or the real life investigation and the movie. One of the things I want to talk about is that in the Entity movie, there's only one ghost, one poltergeist, but in the investigation, they claimed that there's 3 ghosts. That there were 2 that would hold her arms down, while the other one, the bigger one, the one that violated her, would do that also, would violate her.
Yeah.
But then reading the interview with Brian Harris, supposedly there's a 4th ghost, a 4th. Evil spirit. Sorry.
Yeah.
The 4th one it's called who?
Carlitos, you're getting cut off.
Kids.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, you guys.
Did you hear any of that?
Well, you know what? I did in one of the documentaries. They did talk about that, how there's it was multiple spirits, but someone even had a theory about that, where they thought that she was making these almost like making these spirits up, like conjuring them on her own, and each spirit represented one of her kids or something like that. I forgot what it was.
I read that too. I read that too. That each one of those, for example, there was the 3 ghosts. One would be the 2 boys, and the other one would be the kids, and they were doing the whole thing. That she was thinking that she was being raped while she was drunk, when in reality it was her kids trying to constrain her.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought that was kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Use that word again, fascinating.
Yeah, I mean it's really interesting because you do have I've known cases of people, I'm not gonna say any names, but that have really bad drinking problems, and even just people that you see in the street, like like the people that have the homeless people that have drug problems, and you'll see them talking to themselves, or this one guy came up to me not too long ago saying that why was I following him, and that he saw me everywhere and stuff. So right. I mean I guess it's a possibility, but I mean you said that the son said that she never had a drinking problem right before that.
She never had a drinking problem. That these things that were in the movie actually did happen. I mean, some things were over glorified, but the parts where he tries to save his mom, that he actually did get pushed back.
Oh, that's right. I remember that part.
Yeah, he didn't really break his wrist on that one scene, but he was thrown. He was thrown and had just a few bruises. I think he had the least amount of bruises compared to the other kids. But at one time they were just so what would you want to say? Overwhelmed by these spirits that the kids were just like, whatever, we're watching TV or listening to music, and some of those ghosts, or what do you want to call it, would just walk by, and they were like, whatever, we're tired of this, this is gonna pass by.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And he described these poltergeists as not green or neon, whatever the gooey gelatinous thing you see in the movie, but he kind of described them more of like a foggy silhouette, more like a smoke or so.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe kind of like that. Remember that picture we have? I don't know if I showed it to you, but we have a family member that we had a little gathering, and we took some pictures, and in one of the pictures we captured that smoke, that it looked almost like cigarette smoke, like real thick, and very like a wavy. Nobody was smoking or anything, so
like a very, very dense and focused vape, like someone just vaped.
Yeah.
And it came out, but instead of blowing everywhere, it was more of like it was focusing, just going around like
yeah.
Or, I don't know. It's just a weird.
Yeah.
Like combed.
Yeah. You know what? Hopefully, I can find that picture and we can share it.
It'll be great. Yeah. That's one of my favorite pictures.
Yeah, that was a cool picture. But yeah, so.
One of the things that I would like to have seen in the entity, but this is just me being a total nerd, would be the investigative parts, where they would use a lot more of the field equipment. They used, I believe, a sniffer that's created by HP. The sniffer goes around and he takes different scents, because supposedly this poltergeist had like a really foul smell.
Oh, that's right.
Another thing too is they used the Geiger counters. They use Geiger counters, and the Geiger counter is a device that detects radiation. Normally, when you have it on in a normal setting, it's just the average. You hear a little clicking sound. But in this case, when the poltergeist came on, it will go dead. It'll be the opposite. You would think like something would pop up, or something with a lot of energy would increase the
so almost like it was absorbing the energy.
Yeah, so it's like the opposite, which is really fascinating.
Well, I mean, that kind of happens when there's been cases where people do investigations, and batteries on the cameras or on flashlights, they just get drained completely. So I mean, it could be something like that. You would expect more energy, but it's just sucking all the energy out.
And there's another thing too, where they were trying to take pictures. They couldn't really grab a good picture because they couldn't place it on film. But it'd always be displaced. You wouldn't know exactly where that orb or that light would go. So they decided to put blackboards on all the walls. Oh yeah,
I remember that.
And put some sort of magnetic orientations up there, so they can pretty much place these images in a certain part of that floor plan. Yeah, I thought that was kind of fascinating. But that's just my nerd part of it that I would love to have seen more of.
Yeah, that would have been cool. Hey, maybe they'll do a remake on this movie.
Supposedly, when I watched one of the videos, which was made in the movie review videos in 2000, the video was made in 2015. It was in the works, but now it's 2020. So I don't know. Maybe it got pushed back a bit.
I think eventually it'll get a reboot, because all films eventually it happens. So yeah, but you know what, that was one of the cool things I liked in the documentary that I saw, is where they captured these lights. Like there was a picture they had where she's sitting in the person is sitting on the bed, and you see this like a rainbow effect around her. I don't know if you remember that.
The arc that's going from one wall to the above her, while she's like suffering whatever she is. And it just moves on like this. And what's neat about that one is that it's not projected on the wall. It's just right there above. It's like, where's the source coming from?
kind of like the one from the San Pedro haunting, right? Remember the little lights that were kind of like off the wall? They weren't on the wall, but off the one. They were reflecting light against the wall.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too is that a lot of these hauntings where there's like a poltergeist or like dark entities, there always seems to be that foul smell that you're talking about, like a sulfur kind of.
That the sulfur and brimstone that is associated with the devil or demons.
Yeah. So it's funny because where would the smell come from? How would you create a smell? Like, especially if you're not like, you're not physical form. How would you make a scent?
Right. Yeah, maybe something's playing with your senses, or maybe it's a portal that's opened up and from another area. Who knows? This is just my little quick tidbit thoughts right now.
Mm-hmm. And you know, we were talking we were talking about that with Layla, you know, from Paranormal East LA, where we're talking about how maybe they're and we've talked about this, where what if they're like multi-dimensional beings and all this stuff, and you know, it's opening different worlds. Maybe that's where those smells are coming from. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. There's this string theory and X theory, which explain that, or not explain. Well, there's a theory that talks about the different realities that we might be in, and we're in one of the many. Who knows? 10, 12, thousands.
Yeah,
that's something to look up.
Yeah, I hate thinking about that, because then my mind just like, it's like, okay, if there's multiple paths and I'm here, you know, so what am I doing here? And what if I already died in one of the you know, one of the parts, and I'm living on, and
but, and one of them you don't have your kids, but you're a millionaire. Another one you're something different. You know, maybe you're happiest right now.
Yeah. Or maybe we're doing this exact same thing, but we're two different people.
We body snatchers, or we switch?
or we're switched. Maybe I'm in the computer and you're here. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So this. Oh, I want to talk about the son in the movie. In the beginning of the movie, he's actually in the garage or someplace, and he's playing music.
Okay.
And he's playing rock music from the 1970s, progressive music.
Okay.
And she comes in and she talks to him and asking him if he's okay. He's like, yeah, I'm okay. But I thought the part where he's playing music was kind of neat, because later on in the interview with Brian Harris, he talks about him and his brother, I guess is the middle one, playing, the older one, or whoever it was, playing music. And they were playing this record. And I have the record name here. It's, let's see, who is this? Uriah Heep. It's a progressive rock band from the 70s. And this album, every time they play this album, a certain song, the album is called Demons and Wizards. It'll play, and the actual poltergeist will get agitated and really mad. And it'll start up and start doing something. I guess it was just fairies that they were playing progressive rock, I guess. But supposedly the lyrics of this one particular song, I was looking for it, but I couldn't find the actual lyrics. In this song, it talks about pretty much vanishing the devil, the good killing or removing evil. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and that actually did happen. That was in the book, right?
That was in the interview with
the son.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah, and you know what? In the book, does it talk about? Because I know the haunting started in Culver City, but I think they ended up moving to Carson, right? Or am I wrong?
They went to Carson, and this is the funny part, because I don't know how Carson was back then. I'm assuming it was pretty bad, but they said that they went to Carson, California, and that they were also fearing for their lives there. But it wasn't because of the poltergeist, because it was just a very, very violent time at Carson.
Yeah.
And I had a giggle, but that was back then. Now it's a lot nicer.
Oh yeah, Carson's nicer than I think some parts of Carson are nicer than San Pedro.
Yeah,
I hate to say that, but
yeah. Well, you know.
But
yeah, and then she went to Texas and some other places, and then went to Lawndale. Came back to California to Lawndale.
I had thought that for a moment she had moved to Harbor City. I think that's what it said online.
Oh, no, I read Lawndale, that area, but then she came back to Culver, I guess, or so another part. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, it's a good case.
Oh yeah, it's a fun movie. It's good to follow up a little bit on the background.
Yeah, and it's one of those films that you could actually watch multiple times. But.
And speaking of it being a film, Martin Scorsese called this one of the scariest movies of all time. And I think that's pretty good for someone like Martin Scorsese to praise this by saying that.
I know. You know what? I'm surprised they never made a movie about the San Pedro haunting. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think that would have been cool, especially with the whole seeing the head of the guy floating around and all that. I think that'd make a really good movie.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe the problem was that it was a little too close to this the entity investigation. Maybe the production company was like, maybe they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
Well, I do know that sometimes, when it's like within any other kind of films, when they do a lot of horror films or anything like westerns, it comes a time when like people get burned out on them and they don't want to watch them anymore. So maybe that's what happened. It was just a time where they had so many scary movies that it's just like, okay, it's time to take a break from it.
Right, there's that horror movie curve, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this one was in '82 when it was finally released, and the San Pedro Haunting was in '88. So I don't know. It was probably a different style of movie that the studios didn't want.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Carlos, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. For the entity case episode.
Okay.
And I'm happy you're here with me, dude, because I was dying. I was dying.
Thankful too.
Yeah, I needed someone here to like to converse with, like really converse, because we've got a lot of good reviews on our YouTube and in emails where people like the way we how we flow. So
okay, great. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. But is there anything else you want to mention before we end the video?
Yeah, I want to mention some of these. I want to mention some of these YouTube channels that I viewed when I was reviewing the Entity, and there's two of them that I watched that are very, very good reviews of the Entity movie, which is WeWatchedAMovie on YouTube and Pop Culture Beast, and I watched those two, and they were very entertaining and high quality, and I think you guys should watch them.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I did want to do a quick like a shout out to one of our viewers. She actually started her own YouTube channel.
Oh, great!
And she's been giving us some really good what do you call it, feedback. So I told her that I would mention her channel. So she barely started. I think her channel is called, oh crap, I forgot. Simple Homestead. And it's all, her channel is really cool. I think she's doing something. It's gonna be a whole thing. She actually lives on a farm, and she's doing a thing with her family of how to live like, I guess, like back in the day, where you have your own, you get your own chickens, your eggs, and
that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
We need that now, right here.
Yeah, so she's doing that, and she on one of the videos they're putting like they're making all these planters, and they're just gonna live off the land. So I think it's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
But yeah, Simple Homestead. I think her name. I know her name. Her name is Elda. But yeah, thanks Elda for subscribing to us and watching our videos.
And congratulations, Elda, on starting the YouTube channel. That's
it's gonna be successful. You could tell right away.
That's great.
But anyways, Carlos, I think that's that's it for today.
That's it for today.
Hopefully this worked out. If not, we'll be redoing it in a different day. But I think we got it. I think it came out pretty good. But yeah,
thank
guys,
you for having me again. It's been a pleasure, and I'm glad to be part of episode number 10.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for number 20, 50, and 100.
I know. I can't believe we're at 10, dude.
Yeah. And once this is over, though, Tony, we're gonna do some upgrades. So we're gonna.
Yeah, you know what? We're thinking that on the next episode we're gonna maybe change it up a little. Change the intro a little, and we're gonna try to start doing more like inserting pictures. Because we are beginners, so we're still learning. But Carlos has all kinds of really cool ideas.
Yeah,
to make the videos a little more interesting.
Yeah. Upgrade the computers, get something faster, and maybe something that'll be over the network. So maybe I can be at home, or you can be in your study, and we can be.
And you know what? I think this. I like this. I think this works.
Yeah,
because it's like you're here.
I guess
it's like you're here.
The KISS example, right? The KISS works.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So for now at least, with when hopefully this thing ends soon, the whole pandemic thing ends soon, and we're able to, be in studio together again. But yeah, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Thank you, Carlos, for being here. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode 11. Hopefully it happens.
Yes. It will.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.